Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Thursday Live. I am Denise Armenio, certified emotion code, body code, quantum healing practitioner, as well as genius biofeedback practitioner. And I am so happy to be here with you to discuss all things genius and how to use the genius and to run a session using the genius. And for all those, most of you or many of you probably already own the Genius, or you may be on a trial of it. If you're just stumbling across this video and you're wondering what we're using, we are using a frequency app called the Genius Insight that will help relieve all kinds of discomforts pains for you, and it just is amazing for all your health and wellness needs. I have with me Claire McIntyre, who is helping answer all your questions in the chat. So with that, we thank her and let's start. I just wanted to say hi to our volunteer, Inanna. Did I say that right? I'm sorry.
Good. Hi.
Good. Okay, so everybody, so in order to keep her information private, I am just going to start. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see what my screen looks like. And then I am going to just go off screen for a minute. So just give me a second here as I put all my little chat boxes in order. Okay, so this is what the main page is going to look like. I'm just going to stop sharing for a minute while I add all the personal information here, and I will be right back. And on the bottom, just so everybody knows, I'm just going to hit continue with new analysis. And here we go. I can start with the scan. So if you can just help share with us, what is it that you would like to work on? Like what are your symptoms? And do you have any physical or emotional pain? As many of you who are here weekly know, I always like to include that if there is, just because it is easier to rate and to see if there is a measurable change at the end of the session. So with that, Inanna, what would you like to work with?
Well, I'd like to work with, first of all, my memory's been really slacking off more and more, but I think it's related to an old accident many years ago. So we'll put that aside. I always think my brain needs work. I've had, several injuries that I constantly compensate for, like I fractured my back and hip and blew out my knees, and I'm older, and I think I've done really well with it, but I've gained a lot of weight, and I think I'm pretty much I don't do doctors at all. I do my own thing, but I think I'm pretty insulin resistant. So I've got digestive issues. Plus, I don't take any kind of medications. I kind of work with what I've got, and but I want to get more comfortable. I want to drop weight, and I know there's a lot going on with the gut and how it's all interconnected with the neurotransmitters. So I don't know. I don't know if that's too much information.
That's great. I'm just going to ask you, so as far as you mentioned that you have injuries, back, knees, do you have any current pain in those today?
I always do. I should have had a knee replacement twice. I canceled it because I just don't want to go through that. and I don't have a lot of pain in it, but I have limitation. But it
Okay,
throws my
so what
low
are the
back off because
limitations?
it doesn't bend that well.
So range
Um,
of motion.
Range of motion, and I use the Genius with the joints and the circuitry reset a lot will realign me again. I get misaligned very, very easily. Um, yeah, it's
So
but I
as far
think a
as your
lot of it
range,
is
as far as your range of motion on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being like severe range of, like not having much range of motion.
no, I'm about I'm good actually, a 3, but it's just that there's no spring in there. So
There's no what? I'm
and then
sorry.
I say there's not, I tell my grandkids, I don't have any shock absorbers in that knee. The spring is gone. It's like it doesn't, I have to go down the stairs one at a time,
Okay,
kind of a
so
thing.
how would you rate that? Like a 9, a 10, 8?
No, because I can straighten it out and I can do things with it. It's just that it doesn't, that the chronic musculature dysfunction is probably, I don't know. Let's say 5.
Okay, so how would you rate your knee? Let's do this a different way. How would you rate your knee overall on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being severe today, how it feels currently?
About a 5.
5 out of 10?
Yeah, but it's not pain.
I
It's
understand,
stiffness.
but at the end of the
Yeah.
session, and I ask you to re-rate it based on how whatever
Okay.
it is that you're feeling, you'll be able to um re-rate it.
Okay. I get. Yeah.
Okay. And what about your back?
Oh,
Is it like similar?
yeah. Similar.
Would you also rate it as a 5 as well?
It's a 5 today, definitely.
Okay, so your knee and a back is a 5 out of 10. Is there anything
Yeah.
else, any symptoms that you're currently experiencing today, that you can tell me and that we can rate?
I think I have a lot of anxiety.
And how would you rate that today?
Oh, about a 7 and 8 today.
Okay. Anything else?
Um, no, you put down digestive imbalances, and
Yeah, I
definitely,
did.
I'm on the third day of the master cleanse, and I suddenly thought to myself, the master cleanse probably doesn't suit you. The maple syrup is probably too much sugar for you. So
So are
even
you
though
feeling bloated or anything like that with the
yeah, I feel irritable,
okay.
a little bit bloated too. Yeah,
And how would you rate that?
I would say a 6.
Okay. All right. So this page is just for the user records. This is just so if I come back and did a second session with you, I could see what we worked on, how we rated it, but it does not have anything to do with the session at all. So you can put whatever you want in there. I see I have a few spelling words and that's fine. We're just going to keep it like that. I think you mentioned weight gained. So I'm
Right.
just going to hit begin here. And now the Genius is going to ask for your voice imprint. So I'm going to count you down. I'll say 3, 2, 1, begin. And at that point, if you can say your full name and then repeat the vowels A, E, I, O, U. You'll have to do it probably 3 or 4 times until this 15-second counter gets to 0. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, begin.
Anana Linda Champagne, AEIOU, 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 AEI.
Perfect. Perfect. So now at the bottom left, you'll see it says voice harmonics. And I recommend everyone to use this. This actually shows you how the Genius has translated your recording into a frequency, and it also has healing benefits as well. So I'm going to play this back for you. Okay, now I'm just going to select next. And we can hit continue. And I took a little screenshot of you, so I'm just gonna click on this avatar here and hit existing photo. And with any luck, there you are. Okay, and we could just hit done, but if you needed to crop this or turn it for any reason, you could do that with the controls down here on the bottom. And now we can do begin analysis. And hit continue. Okay, so now the Genius is going to ask that we to click begin analysis, but before we get there, it's giving the option of whether we want to include an energetic affirmation. And what that means is basically any affirmation that you would like to work with. We can include it here. I always like to use this. So I'm
You can
gonna
use yours. I like yours.
Okay, great. So the affirmation I usually use is all energies are transmuted into the frequency of your love. And then I just like to add and so it is. Okay, and so once I hit okay here, this the frequency of this statement will be overlaid every time we run frequencies throughout this session. Okay, so now we can hit begin analysis. Custom libraries banner that is here because I have purchased and created libraries. But if you are a new user or on trial, you will just be seeing body, biofield, or mind. Otherwise, everything is exactly the same. Okay, so the first thing that I want to look at here so we don't get, or I don't get distracted and forget is we can go down in the bio field. If you look for the word aura, we can click on this line here, and this is how we get your aura picture. So I'm just going to click on that and we can hit begin analysis. Okay, great. So I'm just going to hit on the top right where it says hide avatar so we can see everything that is behind here. So when we're looking at the aura, we like to see bright, vibrant colors. The colors that are used are the 7 colors of the chakras. And we do like to see those colors being as bright or neon-like as possible. The brighter they are, means that they are picking up the positive attributes of that chakra. And the darker the color, it would pick up more of the negative attributes of that color. We like to see bright, clear, vibrant colors. Anything that is muddy or dirty or kind of like just like hazy, is an indication of interference, stagnant energy, or just like negative energies. So hopefully we can work on that and clear that. That is commonly seen in the auras. So most people, you will see this like kind of blurriness in it. You can then go to switch to old. And what I look for basically here is that all four corners are filled with color. This is kind of murky looking, very kind of blah colors. It's not bright or pale. That kind of indicates some interference or negative energies in there as well. And it does sort of look like all four corners are filled with color, although it's a grayish color it's filled with up at the top. I can't really tell there, but I would want to work on grounding with you as well. So that's just a little bit on the aura there. So now what we're looking at when we look at this system overview page is you will see numbers on the right-hand side, and then down the center, you see colors. So basically the Genius runs on a numerical value system. That range goes from 0 to 777, and that is divided into 4 ranges. The lowest range goes from 0 to 200, and that is represented by the color blue. And that is observed to be chronic energetic disturbances. It can also be referred to as stagnant energy or under energy. And the items in this range are causing some form of crisis on your body. The next range goes from 201 to 450, and that is represented by the color green. From there, we go from 451 to 600. That is represented by the color yellow. And the highest range goes from 601 to 777, and that is represented by the color red. Items in this range are observed to be acute energetic disturbances. So the energetic disturbances is happening right now in the present. It could also be referred to as heat or inflammation. You might also hear people refer to it as over energy. And items in this range are going to be causing some form of a stress on the body. So both the blue and the red, they are simply telling you that there is an imbalance. The blue, the imbalance has been there for a long period of time, and the red just went out of balance. It is not telling you the low is not representing a deficiency, and red isn't telling you that there's an excess because the number is high. So just keep that in mind. If you look on to the left of where all the wording is, you see like a double yellow arrow. That's just to tell you that there's more information and that you can go down a little bit lower. So you can click on that or click on the colored line. You're going to get the same information, just it's a different way to view it. So if you click on it, you will see all the different meridians and their value. You also see like a little magnifying glass. If you click on that, it gives you a brief description of what that meridian is for. So here, the bladder meridian regulates the removal of toxins from the body. And if we just close that, we can then see that same information, but now you can see it as it's color coded. So it's a little bit easier for you to see what your reds and your blues are right away. So now the first thing that I like to do when I work, when I start a session, is to work on priming the body. And what I mean by this is that we have our energy field, or we may call it our biofield, and that is our protection. It's sort of like our force field. So we want to make sure that that is healthy. So to do that, I recommend adding all the items from the biofield category and add them into your main hold tray. And then you can also add in the vitamins, minerals, and amino acids down into the main hold tray. And that's to help prime the body so that we can bring the body, get it as healthy as possible. Our cells can receive all the nutrients that it needs to function optimally, and our energy field can receive all the elements from the biofield to operate optimally. I do have a library that I like to use. It's from the bioterrain panel. Many of you may have that package, so you may already have it. I'm just going to go use that. But if you don't have this library panel, like I said, you can just add everything from your biofield category and then the vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. Okay, so now I have a lot of libraries, so that is why you're seeing a lot of red here. I have over 2,000 libraries. So with only 777 slots, you're going to have a lot of a lot showing up as red. In the center, there is a little tab. You can pull on that, and that's pulls down your search function. So now I can just type in bioterrain, and here is the library I was talking about that does say begin, and this is the vessel priming frequencies. I can drag this whole library title down, and it will add all the items to the main hold tray. So that is great. And then you can just go down to the bottom where it says main hold tray. And if you click this play button, it will bring you to the next screen, which is the progressive insights. And it's then going to ask you to begin analysis again. And the reason for that is that the main hold tray, the Genius uses algorithms that looks at the relationship of all the items that we've put in the main hold tray. So it gives you a little bit more detail. And I always like to select all first, and then I will put the timer, which you can see up at the top. I'll just slide it over to 1 minute, and we can hit play.
Ooh.
Okay. So we can see that your average percent rectification here is 31%. Anything between 20 and 40% is considered a good rectification. Anything above 40% is considered excellent. So this was a good rectification. And the other thing I like to look at is the percentages of the 3 items that make up the average percent rectification. And you can see that the low is 28 and the high is 36. That is a good range. I don't like the range there to go greater than 20, just because it's less stable the greater that range gets. So this is a stable 31%. I would love for that to be a little bit higher. So I'm just going to deselect all, and I'm just going to select the lows and the highs, and I'm going to move the timer to 0 minutes, and that will allow me to listen to the frequencies for less than a minute, or I can listen to it for any period of time from 0 up to about 500 minutes. You have to stop it yourself. So I'm just going to play these for a few seconds. Okay, great. So we only needed to run it for 30 seconds, but you do have an average percent rectification of 55, which is wonderful. And that goes from 51 to 63%. So that's great. It's a nice tight range in there. So that's terrific. I will not run this anymore because I am happy with that. Also, it's a demo, so we're a little bit restricted with time. So now we can go back to the main system overview page. I'm just going to go down to the main hold tray where that up arrow is and can click on it. And up above it says clear all. So I'm just going to clear now what's in the main hold tray. And the second step that I like to do is to work with the general overview. And the way that you get to the general overview is by clicking on the system overview up at the top. And the general overview is really amazing because what it does is the Genius lists all the items between everything in the system overview and all of the libraries. So that part depends on how many libraries you have. I have a huge library collection, so I have probably with over 2,000 libraries, must have, like 80,000 at least line items. And it puts them all in numerical order. And the importance of this is that you will see, you can look at it from either high to low or low to high, but that you're going to be seeing when you look at the blues, potentially what are the underlying causes or the root causes to many of the symptoms that you're experiencing. So I'm just going to switch this up at the top. You could see 0 to 100. I'm just going to click it so you can see the items in the low range. And I am going to add the bottom 50 there. If I couldn't add here all the blue items because there would be just a ridiculous amount of items. So that's why I stick with the 50 items. If you wanted to drag and drop, you could do that if you wanted more than 50, but that starts to get really tedious. And then the other thing I like to do is now remove all of the libraries. And now I could just add the blue items because this will just be the blue items from the system overview page. Now you can see for glance, it says testes here. So you may be wondering, well, why does it say that? And that can just be hormone related that it's picking that up. It could be that, you're low on testosterone, or it may just be some form of a hormone imbalance there. So not to worry. We do have 151 items that are in here. So I'm just going to go and hit the play button and we can hit begin analysis here. Okay, and so there are some revoking of some offensive energies
Wow.
that may be in your field that were coming up. So hopefully this will be helpful. I did select all and I put the timer on 1 minute again. Okay, so you have a 34% rectification. Again, that is a good rectification. I would like that to be a little bit higher. So again, I'm going to deselect by hitting all. So now everything is clear again. And I'm just going to work with the lows and the highs to see if we can get that number up a little higher. I'm going to move the timer down to 0 minutes and run this for about 30 seconds. Okay, so that's 20%. It's still on the low side. So it might be that you're having a little difficulty getting a little higher because there are maybe too many frequencies in here. So I would then just deselect the highs and work with just the lows for about 30 seconds and see if that helps to bring it up higher. And so there, that helped bring those up to all the lows to 53%. So now I would deselect the lows and I would select the highs. And again, we can run that for about 30 seconds and see if it helps to get those up as well. Okay, that's on 28%. That is still good. The range goes from 21 to 40, so it's close enough to that 20%. I'm not going to run this again just because, again, we have some limited time. And I do want to work with the reds. Those were the blues that we worked with. I'm just going to clear all these. I'm just going to add all the red items from the system main page, and then I can add my libraries back in. And now just look at the red items, and we could add the top 50 red items. And you can just see some of these items are. Again, remember that the red are items that are out of balance right now in the present for you. Okay, so I'm going to put the timer back to 1 minute and select all and select play. So we're at 24% there. So again, I'm going to do the same thing and deselect all. I'm going to move the timer down to 0 minutes so we can just run the low frequencies for a few seconds. I'm not doing the lows and the highs together just because on the way the last few balances have been going, I just think that you will do better with running running the less frequencies. Okay, that's at 35%. Again, it's not excellent, but that's still a good average percent rectification. And the low goes from 30 to 42. So it's right within that range that's, a good stable range. I'm going to deselect the lows and run the highs now for 30 seconds. And we're at 24%. This is goes from 15 to 42. So I will run those again for a little to try to get that to where it's a little bit more stable. Okay, great. So that brought it up to 46%, and it's a tight range. Both harmony and energy flow are at 44% and alignment 51. So that's really great. Now, so after I've usually do these first 2 steps on people. I just like them to just check in and see how you're doing based on what some of your ailments were before. So, um, I believe you had your knee and back around a 7 or 8, I think, overall with the tightness or whatever. Do you feel any shift?
Um, yeah, I do. I feel a shift because I feel my anxiety went down.
Great.
So I don't
So
know.
your
Yeah,
anxiety went from like a oh, maybe your anxiety was at an 8. What is it that at now?
I feel more relaxed to think about 3 or 4.
Okay, great.
It's
That's
very
awesome.
hard to measure that. It's not like it's gone, but um, I just feel more relaxed.
Well, great. That's awesome. And so so do you notice anything with the tightness or your range of motion with your knee or
Well, my spine, instead of feeling like it's really tight, it feels more elongated. So that's always my goal. I do daily rolling in a roller. So that feels more relaxed. And my knee, I'm not aware of my knee right now.
okay, but
So that's
still
good.
with just without addressing those specific symptoms, you've already seen a change. So that's amazing. So
Right.
now we can go back to the main hold, I mean, the system overview page. I'm just going to clear out the main hold tray again. And now I'm just going to go into the custom libraries, and there we can work with some of the issues for pain. And I'm going to add those in. I can just search that. I'm going to add in the blues, the greens, and the reds. And then we can look at on the human body structure, we can look at the neck and the knees. I'm actually gonna go to, hold on, I have to scroll down to find. There's your knee joint showing up more chronic in there. So I'm
And lower
gonna add
leg.
all of these items in. Since when we get it to the main hold tray, the ones that are somewhat balanced may not be balanced when we put them all in there together. We can also add in the ligaments. Oh no,
That
the
one.
yeah, the lower leg. And I'll add the blue and the green. And let's see. So we have the leg and the foot, the blue, the green, and the reds here.
Spinal nerves.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I saw the one for trunk muscles and spinal nerves. That resonated with me.
Okay, so let's add them. That's great. And I wanted to add in the nerves for you. These add up quick, so we're already on.
Wow.
Let's just work with these right now, and then I want to work with the brain. Okay, so again, I follow the same format. I'll put the timer on 1 minute and select all, and then we can run these. Okay, so that's 22% rectification. So again, I'm gonna run this. I'm gonna deselect the medium one, so we should just have the highs and the lows, and I'm gonna put the timer down to 0 seconds and hit play. And great. So you're up at 67% for both the lows and the highs. So that's really great. And then if you want to just take a look at the percentages above, it goes from 60 to 74. Again, that's within that 20%. So this is excellent. I wouldn't do more than that on here. So I'm just going to back out and I can clear these. Any shifts or anything that you're feeling in your back? It's okay if
I
you say
do.
no.
I feel more elongated.
That's terrific.
Yeah,
That's really good. I want to get to work with your brain now. So optimizing brain function. So this is contains all the brain nuclei. So I'm going to run all of these for you. And then I just want to see. We're just going to add. We could look through these. I'm not looking through all of them because really I trust what the genius has to comes up with. So the frequencies and just trying to get in as much as we can here. And so let's. You may become really fatigued after this. I find that working on the different areas of the brain really causes some fatigue. So just be aware if you do that that's really normal. I'm going to put the timer to 1 minute. Also, I would make sure you stay, very hydrated. Okay, so that's at 25%. Again, I am going to deselect all of them. I'm just going to run the lows now for 30 seconds, and then I'll do the same for the highs.
can you export that to my capsule?
Sure.
That'd be great.
Okay, that is also at 25%. If you just want to tell me what your
INA NNA. 1212 @gmail. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so now I'm just gonna, actually, I want to run the lows a little bit longer. Okay, awesome. You have 54% rectification and it is nice and tight, 45 to 65. So that's right within the 20s. And Claire and Karen are both saying that they felt those frequencies. So good. I hope you get a benefit for it. I actually feel a
Totally.
little bit something in my frontal cortex on those as well. So that is amazing. I'm going to deselect the lows and just run the highs now for you for 30 seconds. And that's on 46%. And again, nice and tight between 43 and 49%. So that's great. I'm going to go back now. Hopefully, maybe you'll see some improvement in your memory. I don't know. You'll have to let us know. But let's go and look at your aura, and then I want to send you some grounding frequencies. Okay, so we can just take a look at this. So we have some nice green healing energy in here. I like this green the best in here. The your physical body is blue, and then we have some of this darkness out there. So we're moving around some stuff. There is this stuff we would want to work on a little bit, but it does look like an improvement to me. And we're bringing in more color, although I think this does look like you are not grounded in here, but you're more, you're getting more grounded. So that is good as well. I'm going to clear the main hold tray. And now I'm just going to, I'm going to run some neurotransmitters for you for a few seconds. Do I want to run them? I think I'm going to run them with the grounding. Sorry, I'm talking to myself.
It's good.
And then for stability and grounding, I'm just going to add in the reds and the blues and add those with the neurotransmitters. Okay, so again, we'll run this for 1 minute, all of these. that's a great average percent rectification as well. So let's just go back and see what your aura looks like now. How are you feeling?
I feel great.
Awesome.
I really feel good. I really felt the brain one.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That's great news. Okay, so this is a
That's
little
weird.
pale, so it looks like you're getting a little tired, like your energy is a little bit um drawn in there a little bit. And there's some, I don't know if this is, we've worked a lot on your brain, but let's just clear some of these. I'm gonna just work with all these items in here in the spiritual protection. And I'm going to work with all of them, even though there's just some highs and mediums, but I'm still going to work with all of them. Okay, so you're at 57% average percent rectification, and that's great. We can just see how it shifted your aura. Okay, so there's still some more stuff. It brought a little bit more life back into it, but some of these colors are still a little, well, but
Ah,
um,
oh my
but
God.
you're feeling better. So we've worked with so many different frequencies. I don't really get um too concerned with, how the aura is looking, because they're going to keep settling and shifting, and I go by more how you feel. So if you're feeling great and feeling better than when we started, that's all that matters.
I
So,
definitely do.
well, good. I'm so glad. Does anybody have any questions or um on how I work with the aura? I mean, you can always keep working on the aura until it gets to colors, but really when you're working with a lot of different items, especially when you're working on, when I use that brain panel, when you're working on all the different areas, a lot is going on. So I don't really like to run the frequencies for too much longer than that. And I certainly would not listen to those frequencies um, that went to your quanta capsule today. It would be too much. I would imagine you'll may feel pretty tired at some point. Just stay,
That's okay. I'm going to the beach.
oh, lucky you. And stay hydrated, drink plenty of water.
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you for being a volunteer on today's
Oh, it was
Thursday
great.
Live.
Thank you so much. I learned a lot. Yeah,
Oh, you're welcome. And please email me and let me know how you're feeling tomorrow. And if
I
by
will.
chance you notice anything from memory, that would be amazing. I would love to hear it.
Yes. Thank you so much. Hi,
You're
Karen.
welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for showing up. So glad to have you here. Thanks, Laura and Karen, for your kind words. And Berkana, thank you. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing everybody next week. And thank you, Claire, for all your help. And we'll see you Next up,
Namaste.
have a great day, everybody.